myself pumped up, yeah. So there's the lights off. No, we'll be alright, won't we? Yeah, we're okay.
You right there, feeling energized?
Yeah, I'm good, yeah.
Yeah?
Yeah.
I'm loving your tan.
Do you feel... Thank you, I'm loving your tan. You look like you've got a real glow about you from Morocco.
Good Moroccan glow, yeah?
Yeah, it suits you. You should go away more often, really, shouldn't you? Well, we both should, shouldn't
That's
we?
it.
We need to have a chat, don't we, later, about our little plan for next year.
Yes.
But we don't tell anybody that yet.
No.
Just another plan.
No. Just
On top of all of the other plans that we've already got.
Yeah, that's it. Constant.
It's just never ending, Igor. It's never ending.
It's a good thing. It's a good thing.
But yeah, welcome everybody to, I don't know what episode we're on. I think we're in like the mid-20 range now.
Yeah, something.
We're approaching Christmas.
Yeah.
That's on the horizon.
Yeah.
We've got a few tickets left for the Christmas party.
Yeah.
By the time this goes out in a week and a half, 2 weeks time, they may have gone. I don't know. If there's 1 or 2 left, then great. Go and check them out. Have a look on the website, links in bio, all that jazz.
Yeah. Come and join us for Christmas.
But how was your holiday?
It wasn't really a holiday.
Yeah.
It was more like work with Zai coming for a
How
holiday.
was Zai's holiday?
That's better said.
Yeah.
How was Zai's holiday? Zai's holiday was good.
I saw you diving into the pool, though.
Oh, yeah. Yeah. I had to
You
have
need
a
to
bit.
get your feet together a bit more.
Yeah.
They were very wide.
You know what? I actually got a couple of DMs of giving me scorecards of that
I
dive.
think you should look at what Ramesh does.
Yeah.
For with him and Rob and Ramesh.
Yeah.
We could do that.
Yeah,
couldn't we? What's challenges?
But no, besides having a 7-hour delay,
I felt for you. I did. Whilst I was sat on my sun lounger in Ibiza drinking a bottle of rosé, I really was like, oh, poor Igor. Oh, this rosé is lovely.
and it never happens really. It's rare for me to kind of like have delays or anything like that. But even more sadder. I don't know. The fact that I was with Zion
when you take your wife with you.
Exactly.
Yeah, that's a real kick in the teeth.
But yeah,
how does I handle that? Was she all right?
She was actually really good. She constantly kept really, really positive.
Whilst you were losing your shit.
And
do you know who I
am? No, not at all.
I am Igor the Great.
No. But no, we managed to get out of Agadir and get into Marrakesh, a 4-hour taxi ride.
Yeah.
So yeah, that was
How many other
fun.
people were in your taxi that you?
Just 2 other people.
Okay.
We teamed up. This pregnant lady, Hilda, proper adventurer.
Yeah.
Like she was traveling Marrakesh by herself.
Wow.
She's what, 4 months pregnant. She was 20 something weeks, and she was big. That bump was big, and she was only halfway.
Wow.
So I'm like, make the most of it now because that baby's going to grow. Yeah. So yeah, and another lady, Julie from the Times. She works at the Times. So yeah,
amazing.
Yeah, but yeah, all of that to say that it was a good time besides the start. But yeah,
did you have a chance to unpack your bag?
Did I what?
Did you have a chance to unpack your bag?
Yes.
I'm imagining that given that you went there for a wedding, you're like 7 or 8 hours delayed. You get there, by the time you've got your clothes out, shot a wedding, you're packing up and coming home.
Yeah, I know what you mean. We lost a day out of 3. Yeah, 3.
So if someone owes you a day in Morocco.
Yes, that's it.
Okay,
yeah.
we'll see what
next time.
Let's manifest that now, and you just never know. You never know.
Happen. What about you? How was your Ibiza
trip? It was
trip?
great. I mean, we weren't delayed. We had Tuesday to Sunday. I had a wedding on the Friday, which was just amazing. Just a wonderful couple and family. And I was thinking actually building up to it. I don't know if people will be able to relate to this or not, but I'd found ways of saying to myself, should we be doing this? Like, I've got so much work on, so many other things happening.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
We're on the verge of having a kitchen refitted. So I could do with the money. Yeah. But then I was like, no, we kind of need a break. Yeah. And quite amazing actually, the couple that I met on the Wednesday for their like little pre-wedding shoot, one of the first things they said was like, no, as a couple, you need that sometimes, don't you? You just need that reset, really. It's important and healthy for your relationship just to be able to go, it's just the 2 of us again. Mm-hmm. You know, when you've got 2 kids that are constantly, like I've told you, nagging you for her new SIM card for a mobile phone, and has been for 3 weeks, and you know, iPads and TVs. You know, life just gets a bit crazy, doesn't it? And
that's it.
Actually, just to go there and have 5 days without the kids was amazing. Yeah. You know, I had some great food, a good few drinks. I might have drunk a few too many mezcals on the Saturday before my flight home, but hey. No, it was great. No, I really enjoyed it. Felt like we had a nice little break from everything. And now we're back, and it's building up for the autumn winter
ready to go
phase,
again.
and I just feel like let's go.
Yeah,
stuff to do, stuff to get to, our teeth stuck into, and I'm excited. So it was a good week.
Really good.
It was a good week.
Shall we start?
Yeah. Do you want to tell people who we are?
Yeah, we are Another Idea.
I mean, I'm hoping everybody knows this by now. Anyway,
yeah.
But Igor.
No, people are constantly finding us.
People turn up and they're like, who are these guys? So
exactly,
it happens.
You always got to introduce yourself. So yeah, we are Another Idea, a podcast for creatives and entrepreneurs.
And you can watch it on YouTube.
You can watch it on YouTube, Spotify, Apple, and...
I think we're in focus today, Igor.
We're definitely on focus today.
Yeah.
Last time.
Yeah.
Woo. Yeah.
We've had a few teething issues, haven't
yes.
we? Which, if you watched the last 2 episodes, you will have heard about.
Yeah.
But again, all part of the process.
Yeah. Just on a side note, this is really weird, but you know when we were looking at the time code over there, we don't need to because we got it there. Yeah, it's nice and close, and yeah, it's perfect.
And you pressed the red button this time, did you, Igor?
Yes, I did.
Yeah. And the camera's on. Yeah. No, it seems to be working. That's good.
Yeah. What are we chatting about today? What are we diving into?
Well, before we do that, let's just wrap up who we are and what we do. We're a podcast for... I kind of jumped in on you, didn't I?
Yes, you kind of did.
We're like kind of a podcast for creative, self-employed, people that want to level up their business.
Yes.
People that want to get into being self-employed.
Yes.
And just want to hear what it's about. And that's kind of what today's episode is going to be around.
Yeah, very much so.
But yeah, we're, very positive, very forward-thinking, very open to, new ideas. And the reason this podcast was founded or created was because we wanted to have conversations with people that, are in the same boat, but have got their own journeys and their own stories to share.
Exactly.
And as we found out already, like 24, 25 episodes in, like me and you have taken huge amounts of value from the guests we've already had. So hopefully bringing that value to you guys. Thank you to everybody that shares it and shouts us out. It is hugely appreciated because we aren't an enormous podcast with massive amounts of reach yet, but we are, we appreciate those shares and likes.
Growing,
so thank you.
It's growing.
We're getting there. But yeah, today's episode, Igor.
Today's episode.
Did you want me to tell them?
Yes.
Okay, yeah. So we haven't got a title for it yet.
That's why I kind of like.
Yeah, we kind of know the groundwork, or the basis of it is the things that people don't really tell you about. What
being
life is
business.
Like being a self-employed entrepreneurial business.
Yeah.
And there's probably, I'd say 80% of it is stuff that's not, I wouldn't say negative.
Struggles. Or niggles.
There's a couple of little positive things in there that, we're going to kind of try and balance it out with. And we've just written down a dozen points. I'm just going to openly discuss them.
Yeah, a few weeks ago, we were about to record this this episode, but again, things just didn't work to plan.
Yeah.
But before we sort of like started planning this episode, we very much said that let's just do an episode where we're just really real with people.
Yeah. Well, I think it was this episode idea was formed when I phoned you.
Yes.
About 3 or 4 weeks ago. I was like, mate, I don't know. I'm just having real doubts about everything at the minute. I just felt really like anxiety levels felt really high. Yeah. And I'm not normally one to suffer from anxiety. I always feel like I've been able to kind of keep it under control. But I can definitely tell over the last, I think maybe it's because I've got a bit more responsibility now with the studio and we've got staff, that maybe those anxiety levels have just built up naturally. And I found myself phoning you going, what if this doesn't work out? What if we don't sell tickets for the Christmas party? What happens if people don't want to come to the AGM that we're touting? What happens
what if?
Yeah.
And I'm like, dude.
and in my head, whilst I'm telling you this, I'm also telling myself, shut up, Sam. This is totally normal. This is all part of the process. Just do what you keep doing. Just keep doing what you're doing.
Keep showing up,
being consistent, being positive.
Yeah.
It's okay to have those feelings, but actually,
there's so much power on those three. Like the fact of keep showing up, being positive, and
Yeah.
Just being consistent with things. Yeah, there's so much power with that. Just those.
Yeah, but you know,
things
again,
itself.
you said about being real. I think there's not enough people in these industries or careers that do talk about that stress and anxiety that you're under when you're self-employed.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's really hard, isn't it?
Yeah, and it's very much it's so easy for people to look from afar and kind of see all the highlights and we've been to Ibiza,
the curated
destination
life.
weddings and blah 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 and blah blah blah. And look at his
Which
family,
we've just
it
been
looks so
talking
pretty
about.
and but there's so much more to it.
Absolutely.
Yeah,
there are struggles and battles, aren't there? But we don't shout about those on Instagram or social and. Yeah, which I think everybody's guilty of. It doesn't matter what walk of life you're in. Yeah, social media is a curated best of, isn't it?
Yeah. At the same time, it's a place that, and I'm definitely guilty of that. It's a place where people can be really raw and really honest and really, really true to whatever situation they're at. But I'm not really good at that.
Yeah,
of kind of like sharing. For example, the whole delay thing. I wasn't even going to share it, but then I thought, no.
Yeah, it's real.
Yeah.
So I suppose we should just start off by saying that if anyone's listening to this or watching this on YouTube and you're in a position where you feel like you're struggling a little bit or things are hard, well, a couple of things. First off, know that you're not on your own.
Yeah.
Like, even though
Hi.
Welcome to the club. Pull up a chair. Yeah, I think sometimes just knowing that there are other people out there that are feeling that as well, and that feeling is normal-ish, that's one thing. But I think the second thing is just to make sure that you reach out and you get a network around you. Yeah. And that you talk about it. Because actually, it's just to go back to what we started on, if I hadn't have called you or I hadn't called the other people that I would call in that moment, it would have just compounded itself and compounded itself and compounded
just spiral.
And then before you know it, you're on the verge of an absolute breakdown. So having those people just to bounce off and for you to go, it's fine, mate, made me go, no, it's okay. Eagles told me it's okay. So
it's true,
everything's okay.
You do need those people that speaking to you and sort of like reassure you and give you that positive perspective, or at least a realistic perspective of, yes, this might be happening, but it's not forever. It might just be now, and there might be some validity to what you're saying and everything else and what you're feeling, because yes, overwhelm is real, but at the same time, it's not forever. And well, let's talk about this. This is the second point on the list that I think kind of ties into where those feelings come from,
and that is that you have to take risk.
Yeah.
And I think a byproduct of taking risk is that you feel a little bit scared, and a bit nervous. But this is the big thing that I've been in this business for 10 years. I had 5 years before that as a part director in an online fashion company, and in all of those years, I've always found myself, realizing you have to take risks. There's no reward for just rocking up and going, I'm going to give this a shot.
And I think as well,
put yourself out there.
A thought is that whenever you feel like you are taking a risk, you're constantly developing yourself. So you just make me think, someone that's on their 9 to 5, it's a risk for them to kind of like jump and going self-employed. Now, as in our scenario, it's a risk to sort of like start a podcast and invest in.
Yeah, absolutely.
And so whenever you feel that feeling of, this is risky sort of thing, embrace it, because it shows that you're propelling yourself forward. Is
this the second mountain book that Tony bought us?
Yeah,
I've still not read it. I've read like the first. We
know this sort of like 10,
20 pages, and I was like, I get this.
Yeah.
But it is, isn't it? It's quite easy when you're self-employed, I think, to take that first risk, which is getting into it, and then it's just like, okay,
coast a little bit,
coast along,
and
then before you know it, 15 years down the line, you've not moved anywhere,
exactly,
and you're going, do I want to be in this game anymore? There's always that life cycle, isn't there? I spoke to a photographer the other day that came in here to do some commercial work, saying he's been doing wedding photography for 15 years. He's just had enough, just done it for too. Like, you kind of get to that point where, and this, I'm sure this applies to any industry, this isn't just unique to weddings, but you do that, it runs its course, doesn't it? And I think that's kind of why, I feel like we're going off on tangents here, but this is the whole point of this conversation. This is exactly why me and you have started doing this, is because we're just preparing, not that we're going to fall out of love with weddings, and that's not happening anytime soon, but we're preparing ourselves to be able to develop things away from that industry a little bit.
Yeah, we're not putting our eggs all in one basket because, we absolutely love weddings, but there's so much more out there.
Yeah,
there's so much more out there to be done and earned, and opportunities and conversations to be had, and us grow as humans, grow as business.
Yeah, constantly.
Business partners, whatever. So, yeah.
So taking risk.
Yes, it's a massive one.
Yeah. Studio Ninja, Igor.
Here we go.
Yeah, I'm off again. But I just wanted to talk about one more thing, because I think, and I'm not here to criticize one of our sponsors, but I think they're missing a trick.
Ooh, shots fired. Tell us what you're thinking.
It claims to be designed by photographers for photographers, which it is. It is designed by photographers for photographers. So I'm not arguing that. But it's not just for photographers.
That's it. It's so much
I just
more.
think it's for anybody that's in a service-based industry. This piece of software is invaluable. I've had friends that are MUAs, hairstylists, florists, stylists. You name it. I've had them all reach out, and I've given them sort of guidance and setting them up that have gone on to use Studio Ninja and like, this is invaluable for our business.
Yeah.
So if Studio Ninja are listening and watching this back, might want to think about who you're targeting it to, because actually I think they're missing a trick. I think there's a whole market. There's a whole market out there that, you don't just need to be a photographer or a videographer in the wedding industry. If you are a service-based industry and you've got clients or couples, whoever they may be, and you need to book people in, you need to send them automated emails, invoices, the system and the software is there for anybody to use in whichever business they're operating in.
Yeah, get Studio Ninja.
There you go. So what's the discount code, Igor? You should know it by now because I've told you a few times.
Let me see.
I wonder what it could be.
I'm guessing. I'm joking. It's another idea. It's that simple. So if you go to Studio Ninja, type in that at the checkout, and you'll get 50% off for the whole year, and you'll get the first month free.
You get the first month free, and then another idea gets 50% off their first annual subscription.
There we go.
There you go. Sorted.
Go get it.
The first thing we wrote down, which I'm pretty sure anybody running any kind of self-employed, or even if there's just a couple of you in your team, will be able to. And I'm pretty sure that you'll have seen like the Insta Reels and the memes doing the rounds of this one. But it is that you have to be everything.
Yeah.
Did you bring your hats today?
I didn't.
Merla specifically said to you, Igor, Merla's going to discipline you later. She's going to take you into the office, have a chat. Yeah. Formal written warning. But the whole point was you have this one hat, and that's your admin hat.
Yeah.
And you've got your marketing hat.
That's it.
And your photographer hat.
Yeah.
And just every element of a business, you have to live it. You have to live each one, and you can't ignore a single department.
Yeah,
you can't, because there comes a point when that house that you're building, that pyramid of cards.
Yeah.
If you ignore one of them and it collapses, that's it. The whole thing goes.
Yeah.
And often when you see people struggling in business, it's because they neglect a really vital or key part of that business.
Of the business, yeah.
The one that's come up recently for me is in the course is that I've had people saying they're so busy with their editing that they just haven't done any marketing for 6 weeks.
Yeah.
And you're like, that's not good enough.
Yeah, because
it's not good enough.
Come 8 weeks or another 6 weeks onwards, you'll be struggling because nothing is coming in.
We're 2.5, 3 months away from 2023. Yeah. And, people are going to need to get the bookings in for next year. And it's like, if you've not been drip feeding that content, you're in trouble.
Yeah. People are going to...
And it's the same with your admin, your bookkeeping. It's the same with keeping on top of emails. And all of those tasks. But you have to be incredibly, you have to be multi-skilled, don't you, to run a business.
Yeah, you really, really do. And add in travel then to that sort of machine when you have to go to wherever, you still have to keep those plates, those hats going, really. So yeah, it's a hard one. Trying to see if we can turn it into a positive.
Okay, no, I suppose the positive would be a point that you've already touched on, which is that you then develop yourself. And I think we kind of with a few of these points we kept referring to what it would be like if you were in a 9-to-5 job. And if you're in a 9-to-5, this corporate job, you wouldn't be developing your skill set in the way that we're developing our skill set, which is going, okay, well, how do I get better at marketing? How do I get better at streamlining my admin and my my communication with my clients? How do I become a better photographer or a better supplier or whatever it might be.
Yeah.
You know, how do I deliver things better? You know, you have a really broad set of skills.
Yeah.
And it's like turning all those dials and just increasing each one as much as you possibly can.
But I think as well that you are the perfect example, especially at this sort of like season that you're at now, that in some ways you kind of like, you don't have to do everything if you learn to let go and sort of like pass this to so-and-so, pass this to so-and-so, pass that to so-and-so, and grow even further,
Yeah.
So, yeah, I think that as well, having that notion and attitude of learning to let go and learning to outsource certain things and learning to pass certain things on that you might not necessarily like or you might not be good at as someone else to do. That's a
really big internal battle, isn't it? I think a lot of people that I know that run businesses are very and this might not be the right word, but I suppose it's a start point. It's like it's controlling. Like we all like to just do it ourselves. And when I look back to my previous business, that was it was set in those early years, was that I found very quickly that staff wouldn't do it. I have to whisper because they're next door, but they wouldn't do it as well as me. And that's no right or wrong in that. Like I don't know. I just find like I have a particular way of doing something, and but I know that's also a weakness, and I've got to let go of that.
Exactly.
And actually, that was one of the things that Tony gave me that was really powerful, was like kind of just setting up that framework, and then allowing your members of staff to be creative within that framework.
Exactly.
And actually, you know, through having Courtney here, I'm having to remind myself of that all the time. Like, okay, well, let's just set it up so that she's got this framework to work within,
and within that,
and then trust her to do it.
Let it rip.
So yeah, and that's been going really well actually. Yeah. Already starting to see more work being sort of created, and starting to realise, I can let go a little bit. I can do it, Igor.
It's okay.
Yes. You have to adapt always.
Yes. It's, and in some ways goes to that whole feeling of, as you said, of being in the business for 15 years and not having changed anything, and being stuck in a rut, and feeling like things are not moving forward. Yes, they're not moving forward because you haven't adapted.
And you see it. You can tell those businesses from a mile off when you go to a restaurant or a wedding venue or whatever it might be that is stuck in the 90s maybe. You know, they haven't updated, you know, till systems, or their marketing or social media activities off pace. You know, you can
I find it that it's not even that sometimes. The big one is just their mindset. Just the way they think about business, or just the way they think about, this is my little island, do not touch it. There's not enough work for anyone. And
how do you feel like you've adapted over the years?
Good question. Very good question.
I thought of that one just off the fly then.
It's definitely making me think. I think that
other than the obvious that this is a version, this is a big adaptation, you know, obviously, but I'm just thinking of back as, you know, the years between you kind of leaving that corporate job and then maybe the last 2 years. Like, when did you feel like you?
I don't know. It's hard.
Should we come back to this one?
But it's a really good question though. I would have to sit on it. It's a really, really good question. How have I adapted? Definitely moved forward, and in terms of my skills, and
because I think you've always had I think you've always had like a really clear identity. I don't look at you and think your business is like, you've not done like a sharp left turn at any point. You know, you had a very clear. I can still remember one of the very early sort of like, it wasn't an engagement shoot, it was kind of like a family shoot. I can remember it was the first time I remember seeing your work, and you know, you'd nailed on your aesthetic straight off the bat. You've probably still got that on your blog post. You don't blog very often. It's like,
it's true.
But you know, you haven't kind of gone, oh, hold on a second, I'm going the wrong way. I'm going to move this way. So maybe maybe it's a tricky question.
Because stylistically, no, I wouldn't say I've adapted. Yes, your aesthetic changed and develops and everything else, but yes, you're right. I kind of like, I know where I want to go. If it looks off, no. It has to look right in that sense. I think
putting yourself out there a bit more has happened.
No. I think that's the one. Definitely. And let's be honest, I think that's the one that kind of like needs to happen more, really. Put myself out there a lot more, because I know that I would benefit from it, really.
Yeah. I mean, you do put yourself out there with it, like this, for example, is the
yes,
podcast. Like,
yes.
You know, you have a presence, but in terms of your business Instagram, you could certainly.
Yes, but at the same time,
people want to see a bit more Igor.
Yeah, and I recognise that gap.
Yeah,
that's it.
Yeah,
I've recognised that gap. There's a clear gap there that can be filled.
Yeah,
yeah.
Okay. The big one. It's hard to switch off. And I suppose this also ties into kind of another point we wrote down, which is forget the Monday to Friday 9 to 5.
Yeah,
it doesn't exist, and I don't even know if that exists in the corporate world as much now. But it's
these days,
it's still
after
it is
pandemic.
Still there. But when you are self-employed and you are running your own business, it is almost always open and on your mind.
Yeah, especially. Do you find that ever since having the studio? I know you had another studio beforehand, but ever since having this studio, that it is easier to sort of like leave things here, and when you get home, you pick it. You drop things
yes and no.
Yeah.
Yes, in the sense of so when we moved to our current house like 7 years ago, I rented a desk from a friend in a design studio just over the way.
Yeah,
and that was the point at which I moved my office away from the house. And I've never gone back. And I've never gone back because I like the separation.
Yeah.
I like that kind of, I've left the office, I'm on my way home, see you in a bit, I'll take the kids out, or what are we having for tea? And I'm like, right, I'm home. And I don't have that kind of, that calling of the office down the back of the landing.
Yeah. Do you sort of like, at home, no laptop, no nothing sort of thing?
No, well, the no to that point is that, I suppose Instagram on your phone has kind of brought it a bit more into the fore, hasn't it?
Yeah.
And I'm having to try and just be aware of that a bit more.
Yeah.
But yeah, it's one thing that, especially in our industry, I'd say 99 out of 100 photographers that we know in this industry have a home office.
Yeah.
But having been here, I've been away from my home office for 7 years now. I could never take it back home. Yeah. Just leaving the door and shutting it behind me and going, okay.
Makes me think.
It's just that mental separation.
Yeah.
It is a cost.
Yeah. True.
And that's always do I need to spend that money? But actually, I come here and I feel a bit more productive. I don't get called away from my desk as much because you're just like, I'll just go and make a cup of tea downstairs, and before you know it, you've wasted half an hour, or I don't come here and I'm in my dressing gown till lunchtime. Those things don't happen. So it's one of those things for me that I would struggle to go back to that home office now.
Yeah. So that's one aspect of it in terms of like switching off from a physical location, but mentally, is there anything that you sort of like do in order to sort of like switch off mentally from work?
I suppose I think a really important thing to do in this business is, or any business really, is to set some boundaries. And you always have to be flexible. We've got 2 kids. My wife's a PT, so she works in the morning and evening. So there's always a bit of give and take, and you have to kind of adapt as the weeks go by. But it might just be that I'd never come back into the office on a Friday Friday evening to do any Zoom call. Zoom calls only happen like on 2 nights of the week anyway. I don't know, what boundaries do you set?
At the moment, I guess working Monday to Thursday, Monday to Wednesday throughout the evenings. Yeah, that tends to happen. And then Thursday, Friday, usually I don't tend to work in the evenings unless I was out of the house for whatever reason.
Yeah.
And that's it, to be fair, really. I'm trying to think. I'm sure there'll be other stuff in there, but those are the major ones, if that makes sense.
I mean, I think like a boundary that, again, having an office away from the house, I think this is a big one, but like obviously, I won't go into work on a Sunday. If I've worked Friday and Saturday, I won't be in the office on a Sunday because it's not in my house. I haven't got that kind of calling to go, hey, just come and back up your cards and just do a little preview, or just check your... Like, that never happens.
For me, that's very easy to do.
Yeah, I think that's easy for a lot of people to do. I can remember doing that quite clearly. So having that separation is pretty vital for me.
Yeah.
And again, if I've, maybe if I've worked away for a weekend, like if I've done a Friday and Saturday, it might just be that I'll have the Monday morning off. That's not happened so much now because we've been busier with this, but it's just having that kind of that discussion with yourself and going, hold on, what do I need?
Yeah.
What do I need? You've got to have a life as well, haven't you? And we've talked about it before on the podcast about how, especially in our industry, we serve, our clients, we're serving them whilst they're going through a great life experience. And we need to remember that we need to have those experiences as well.
Exactly. Yeah.
Some of the boundaries that I've set this year really are, like we talked about one recently about how going forward, August for me is going to be off.
Yeah.
I think I've got 2 at the back end of next August, but that's generally it.
Yeah.
And another one that's kind of like an unwritten rule is that I'm going to take a weekend off every month without fail. So if I've got 3 weekends worth of work booked in, that 4th one
so it
off.
Doesn't happen. Yeah.
It's not yet. I'm just going to have that weekend off because I know that when I get to the middle of that season,
you're going to be.
I'm just going to. I want to be at home for a weekend.
Yeah.
So that's just a little example of the boundaries that I've set, and I'm sure you've got a few others.
Yeah, you just made me think that yes, things are ramping up and we're working hard and everything else, but at the same time, because we're working hard, or in this case, you're working hard, you very much feel like you're prioritizing even more that sort of like time of spending with the family, if that makes sense. Yeah, which I really like.
Which kind of flows us into another point we wrote down, which is like the importance of rest.
Yeah.
And we've just talked about at the very start of this episode about having a week off, both 4 or 5 days off. And I could have very easily gone, no, there's too much going on here. I need to be in the office, got stuff to do, got stuff to pay for. But actually, your body needs just that little bit of a break, and your mind as well. You've got to give yourself a rest.
In some ways, that's why our Thursday Friday rule happens, because that's when me and I spend time together, just literally catch up for the week and just chat how you're feeling, whatever else. And we were sort of like joking the other day. We actually saying that we actually do spend quite a lot of time together if you think about it.
Yeah,
because it's almost like I don't know how other couples do
as much as me and you spend time together.
No, we're special, Sam. We're special. But no, we were sort of chatting and sort of like thinking, how do other couples do it? How much time do other people spend together? Is this the norm? Is it not?
Yeah.
But we're sort of thinking, we pretty much spend 4 evenings out of a week together. That's like more than half. So
I find it strange that there are couples out there that don't do that.
Yeah, definitely. There will be there.
Can't wait to get away from the party. Can't wait to go and I'm off down the pub. See you later. I'm like, can we go for a drink? It's
just it doesn't compute in my mind.
No.
Yeah.
What have we got? Rest is important. So we've done that. A little benefit, I think, of being self-employed. Is and I suppose a few people are talking about this at the moment. Obviously, the cost of living going up, and people are a bit anxious about income. And I think when you're self-employed, that's it. You've got your salary. That is it. It is set. And as much as we have the stress of having to provide and earn, we also have the ability to be able to hustle a bit and go, okay, things might be tight soon. I'm gonna ramp it up a bit. I'm going to work a bit harder, and that's going to be reflected in a bit more take-home pay.
Yeah, that's it. Whereas on your 9 to 5, it's a lot harder.
You can work a lot harder, and it doesn't reflect on your take-home pay.
You got your 9 to 5, you got your salary, as you said. That's it. And if you can have a side hustle, but you're not as flexible, really.
No.
If you're self-employed and you're able to sort of like allocate your time to, I'm gonna pivot this way. And
I think it's always
what's
been.
happened.
I think it's always been. This has been one of the huge benefits, or what's the word? What I love about being self-employed is knowing that my hard work and effort, I get rewarded for.
Yeah,
it's as simple as that.
Yeah,
if I produce the goods and I turn up and I work hard, it's reflected in my pay as such. I find it hard to do that for someone else.
But I think as well, that's very much in our nature. The whole nature of not liking to be told what to do, and having control and just going and getting, really. So no, I like that. But at the same time, yeah, for anyone out there that's on their 9 to 5, that's not to knock you or anything like that. But being self-employed has its benefits, really. You can really, the world's your oyster.
Yeah. I mean, there are things that people who are employed in corporate jobs have that we don't have.
Yeah.
Maybe better healthcare, insurance, pensions, stocks in the company. There's all sorts of benefits that you get. And there's no right or wrong, is there?
Yeah.
I suppose whilst we're on that subject of corporate world versus self-employed life, one that I wrote down was like just being able to choose your friends and network and the people around you, and the fact that you don't, when you go
Steve over there,
when you go to the office, hey Steve, did you watch Coronation Street last night? Yeah, funny, wasn't it? When you're in the office, you don't get to control that or choose who you're,
who's going to be
who's in your group
next
or who's
to you
in the
or in
meeting
front
room.
of you. Yeah.
Whereas for us, if we don't like somebody or we just chop them out of chop them out of our network.
Yeah.
Anything you wanted to add to that?
No, I completely agree. It's brutal, but I completely agree. It's true, though. It's true. People need to be a bit more ruthless when it comes to those sort of things about the people they're allowing in their lives, because those are the things that will suck the life out of you. Those are the things that will suck out the positivity and the mindsets that you really need to grow and push things further.
I think it's really important to just have an awareness of that, isn't it, now? I think back to the early years of me and you in business, and I was probably part of some Facebook groups that I shouldn't have been a part of for too long. And
so true.
Not that they weren't bad groups, like some of them were great, but there were always people in some of those groups that were just negative, and it took me a few years to realise that was just it has an impact on you over time, doesn't it? Because you're consuming that content. So I left a few of the groups.
Yeah.
And
she's the thing to do, really. Yeah,
things have gone all right since. I haven't missed them.
Yeah.
So
still part of a few that I'm like active, and love it. But I completely agree. It can be very much a moan fest.
Yeah. Don't forget to pay your tax. One of the really exciting, fun parts of being self-employed is that it doesn't come out of your pay packet every month. You have to remember to put it aside.
Yeah, that's it. Because I guess to the point of, I guess it can be very much a stress-inducing thing or anxiety-inducing thing when that is not taken care of.
Yeah. And I think the important thing to remember here is that just setting your business up at the start in the right way is important. Just having an awareness of it, and I don't know about you, but I find being a limited company and paying myself a monthly salary has probably been the best way of going about it, rather than just getting it into an account. I'm a self-employed sole trader, and then just going, I need this month. I'm just going to pay myself. Spending money out of that account. I remember having conversations years ago with people that would go, the money just comes into my personal account and then I spend it.
No control sort of thing.
And that's a dangerous place to be.
Yeah.
Because by the time you run your accounts and then your tax bill's due another few months down the line, you're like, well, where's that money now?
And especially if you're not really that, not savvy, but not really that connected with your budget and everything else. And it's so easy to let things spiral and not.
And especially in today's age, it's easy to spend money, isn't it?
Yeah. So true.
So much easier now than it's ever been.
Yeah.
You can go on to
barely see it.
Prime Day. See ya.
Yeah.
Oh, we need these new monitors for our cameras.
Yeah.
See you later. Oh, another microphone. Oh, train tickets for the next guest. It's very easy just to go.
Do you know what? I actually spent money for the first time on our Monzo card.
Did you?
Yeah.
Oh, does that make it official?
Yeah, makes it official.
Oh, nice, yeah. That's because people bought some of the Christmas tickets, didn't they?
Yeah. So I was like, oh, okay, lunch, Monzo.
I'm excited about the Christmas episode.
No, it'll be really good.
It's going to be great.
Yeah.
And we've announced who's coming on, haven't we? We've got Philip White.
Yeah, Philip White.
Have you worked with Philip before?
No, I never met
he's brilliant.
him.
Wonderful videographer.
Yeah.
His work's stunning.
Yeah, very, very beautiful. Again, a very strong, specific aesthetic.
Yeah.
That, It'll be fun. It'll be fun.
His work to me always just looks like you will watch that in 15 years time and still go, wow.
Yeah. It's very consistent. It's very timeless.
Yeah, classic and timeless, but just done in such a beautiful way.
Yeah.
And then we've got
Springles.
The Springles. Cat and Ash.
Dead excited.
Yeah. Just checking. And yeah, I'm really excited about that because although they are successful wedding photographers, part of the reason they're coming on is because of their side hustle.
Yeah, Able Burners,
which has just exploded in the last year and a half.
Yeah.
From 0 to 100 in no time at all, and it's really, I'm just really intrigued to see how that's grown and where they're kind of taking. We've gone off on a bit of a tangent, but you know what? I don't care.
No,
this is our podcast. We can do what we want, so we're gonna.
It's my podcast. I can do what I want to. Dead excited for having them over, and I think it's people like that really made us sort of like create this podcast, because those are the sort of people that I really want to pick their brain, really see how they tick.
Do you not find it's what it makes me go, I wonder what else I could do. I mean, I've got enough.
I'm sure it will happen.
I've got enough on my plate as it is.
I'm sure it will happen.
But yeah, it makes you realise that you don't just have to stick to your lane.
Yeah,
like there are other little things out there that you can just move into.
Yeah, and you'll never get bored.
No, and it's brilliant. It's great to see. So yeah, very much looking forward to seeing those guys and having an audience, Igor, again.
Yeah, cannot wait to meet you guys.
So yeah, final couple of points. I think cameras are still rolling. Are we through 30 minutes yet?
Yeah. Oh yeah. We're 40.
Minutes. It's not powered down. We're still in focus. Hey, I think we have to thank Tom Wright again, don't we?
Yeah. Tom Wright
got a call this morning, didn't he? Because we were like, "Oh shit, the test not worked."
The camera stopped at 33 or 29 minutes. Why is that? Oh,
you pressed the wrong button.
Yeah, that's it.
So Tom just tells us which buttons to press, which is great. Right, next couple of points. Self-pride and reward.
That's a massive one.
Yeah,
it's a massive.
And I don't think you can ever understand just how amazing it is until you've been there and you've done it.
Yeah. I think, and I've said this to people so many times, that it's amazing. And it doesn't matter what you do. It could be literally architecture, design, whatever. But it's so amazing to sort of like, at the end of your job, here you go, here's the product.
Yeah.
And people turn to you and being rather grateful and admire you and sort of like really respect the work. That's it. Really respect the work. And that pumps me up to
make you feel a bit warm and fuzzy inside.
Yeah, that's it.
Warm and fuzzy ego.
You get the feels.
Of course you do.
And and it's so easy not to get that sitting in your desk.
We're not knocking the corporate world. We have to be very careful, because I know there's a lot of people that listen to us that probably might be in that job. But
it's not knocking, but it's rather the contrary. It's very much an encourager, really, to sort of like see, hey, hello, this is what can happen.
Yeah.
This is what you can achieve should you want to move into this direction.
I've got visions of people just getting up from their desk now, listening to us, going, "Hey, boss, flipping the bird. I'm off.
Here's my letter.
Igor's told me I can do it, so I'm going to go and do it." But you can, and just that, just the amount of like pride that you feel from that, I think is just huge. And I don't know about you, I still get it now.
Yeah.
Even 10 years into this industry, sending a couple their like 10 image preview yesterday, and just being so excited about sending them, so excited about them seeing those images and being like, "Oh my god!" Like, I think the time or the day that ever fades, I'll have been in it for too long, and at the moment it's still burning bright.
It's a good marker. Yeah. The time you don't really care. Yeah.
It's just a bad place to be, isn't it?
Yeah, that's it.
Just on a slight tangent to that. I think it's quite easy for a lot of us to not look back enough and just recognise that journey we've been on.
Yeah, it's true. It's true. People should.
Yeah, I'm definitely guilty. I'm very guilty of that.
It's very much that British thing of kind of like, oh, well done, and move on.
Yeah,
sort of thing,
next thing.
rather than actually revel in it.
Yeah.
And no, be proud.
Yeah.
Be proud of what you've done. And
I am, Igor. I'm very proud. Thank you. Thank you, Igor.
So yeah, come on, people. Let's be proud of what we're doing.
Yeah, and then the final one, I think this is quite a good one to end on, actually, is just the flexibility that it gives you.
Mm-hmm.
And I know we've talked about it's hard to switch off, and you know you've always got that calling for the office. You're always there, and it's always on your mind.
Yeah.
But when I walk to school with Buddy and he's holding my hand, I feel like, I mean, 7, he's still holding my hand, which is great. But give it another year, it's probably get off me, Daddy. Yeah, I do. I often find myself going, yeah, this is pretty good.
Yeah.
Would I have this? I went to work at Boots head office for 3 months in between my previous job and this one as a photographer. Mm-hmm. And I remember I had to be in the office for 8:30 and I would leave at 5:30. I'd miss both of those. I'd miss the school run and the pickup.
Yeah.
And I think when you've got a family, that flexibility is huge, isn't it?
Yeah, very much so. And it just brings... flexibility brings health, because you're able to sort of like navigate with a bit more room, really. And yeah, it just allows you to not feel restricted, really, and feel like, again, it just goes with the whole idea of overwhelm and anxiety. It really, really helps. So no, I love that.
I think it kind of ties into a slight point that I thought of earlier, actually, which is that when you make that transition from that corporate Monday 9 to 5 and you move into being a self-employed creative or whatever it might be, the amount of time it buys you to be able to focus on that project or your business, it's almost hard to quantify.
Yeah, it really is. It really, really is. But
because you just get this, you can get so much done then.
Yeah, yeah.
Like, oh right, you have to. Okay, I've got all that set up. I've figured that out. I've got all these projects in place. I can do my marketing now because you haven't got the shackle of that.
Yeah, it's almost like turning a positive into the hats things. Yes, yes, we've got many hats, but our job allows us really to have those many hats and do different things and make the most of them, really. Again, the world's your oyster, really. You just gotta.
How's
get
flexibility play in your life at the minute with being self-employed? I mean, it obviously means you can go and pick up your daughter when she's poorly in nursery.
Time.
Or not today.
Not today.
Zai's been given that job.
But yeah, it means that tomorrow I'm going to have her, and that's completely fine. And yeah, we'll just make the most of it, really.
You have to enjoy those days when they come along, though, don't you?
Yes.
It's very easy to just go, oh God, no, I've got to look after my daughter tomorrow because she's not very well. But actually, won't be long before those days are gone and they're not babies anymore. And then you're like, I miss it. When you had that day. Yeah.
And it's the one thing I actually did really, really enjoy during lockdown, especially the beginning of the lockdown.
Yeah.
Just being cooped up together, me and Ava, just kind of like just watching Rubbish, watching Pepper, watching Hey Dougie, whatever.
Chuggington? Is Chuggington still on?
No, I don't know Chuggington.
Don't you? No, it's a classic.
But yeah, I just have a really fond memory of that. Yeah. Just being able to literally just be together and just watch crappy TV. Really.
Oh, it's great times.
Yeah.
Won't be long before she's nagging you for a mobile phone and a SIM card that should have arrived 3 weeks ago, but you didn't order it.
We love you, Betty.
Oh, she doesn't listen to this anyway. She's too embarrassed. So yeah. Anything that you want to add to that? I mean, that's a great list of things.
Yeah, it really is.
I think we've covered them all.
Yeah.
Did we say? Oh, we didn't talk about consistency is key.
Did we?
No, I don't think we did.
I think we sprinkled it throughout.
We might have. Yeah, it's kind of. No, we did. We talked about it as a deck of cards, and like you've got to be consistent. Yeah. We did talk about it. Ignore me.
We did.
Forget the last.
It was one of the pillars. I said. Yeah.
So yeah, that's it. We're about to wrap up, but yeah, that was good. Hopefully, we've given people a bit of an insight into what goes on for us, sort of on a daily, weekly, monthly basis, and things that happen that maybe aren't as kind of glamorous or as Insta worthy as that you might think, and a bit more real.
Yeah, that's it.
And hopefully makes it a bit more relatable.
Yeah. It's been a good one, fam. We love you, and we want to see you at the Christmas party. Like, share, subscribe.
Yeah. I've got to go and pick our next guest up. I've got to go to the station. I'll go and get her.
Oh yeah, look.
Well, like 20 minutes.
Look at the time.
Yeah.
We've been riffing.
So yeah, great stuff. Right, thank you very much. If you've liked it, just give us a little shout out. Give us a share on Instagram. If you can follow it on the what's it called? Spotify YouTube. Or Apple, whatever it is.
Look at us. We sound like granddads.
Oh, Lord, my Lord. Not doing ourselves any favours here, are we?
So pro.
Basically,
so
pro. if you listen to it on anything, just follow.
Just
if
click
you can
on the
follow
clickety thing.
Click on the clickety thing. Oh yeah. Thanks, guys.
Love you guys.
See you soon.